Hello, I am at the middle of the year and I need to start a new journal because my journal for the first 6 months is now full. There's literally 2 pages left at the back that I have plans for. I am moving into a Dingbats journal from the Earth collection. It has 100 GSM paper, 184 pages. It is a vegan journal and it's been certified, which means that I can be sure that the paper is also vegan, because often you'll find that journals that claim they're vegan often only have a vegan cover. So the cover is leatherette, so it's plastic, which means it doesn't have animal material in it, but often paper sizing and things has products in it that are derived from animals. So it's pretty rare for paper to be vegan as well. And in this journal, it's been certified. I am switching from the first half of the year. I had a journal that was 150 GSM. I like to switch it up a bit and try different paper weights and see how I can get creative with that weight of paper. And so I am switching into this one, as I said, only 100 GSM. So let's have a look at my setup. I go straight into my nameplate. I have printed off my own stickers from a graphic set that I bought online. I will put the name and a link to the artwork actually in my description for this video. I have printed it on this premium clear sticker paper. It is laser printable. It's not suitable for inkjet printers, so laser printer only, and you'll see it is transparent, so it's a bit like having PET stickers. I've started using these graphic sets that I had for digital stuff. I've started using them by printing them and using them in my journal. I did it a while back with a set of robot graphics and they printed beautifully as well. I printed them on normal sticker paper, like white. But in this case, you will see this journal has very creamy coloured paper. If we compare it to my last journal, you will see how obvious that is. This one has white paper. It's a very caramel cream. It's quite dark. That means that normal stickers on normal sticker paper are going to look a bit like this. Is the sticker paper I normally use. I've got these ready to put in my reading journal. Let me just get that. See how it's white, and it's kind of an ivory colour actually, and it's different to the colour of my pages. So for that reason, I printed them on that transparent paper and it's worked really well. It happens that these particular images are quite transparent as well, which means that I had to be quite careful about placement because, can you see that? You can see the bottom of that gold plant just showing through under the other sticker. I don't know if you can see that, but they are a little bit transparent, these images, so I had to be quite careful with placement. In addition, I used this pen, my Faber-Castell Metallic Ice Blue. It's a marker, metallic marker. I used that for a lot of my lettering in my setup. And then I also used, very minimally, this glitter Posca. It's a metallic Posca pen, and it's called a glitter pen. This one is a fatter tip, and it's a red. And then I also used mostly this one, which is my Uniball Signo Noble Metal. It's a blue, and then this is also Noble Metal, but it's the red. It's kind of a pinky red. So those 4 colours just worked really well with this sticker set, so that's what I used. So we've got my title page, well, my name page. Then in Dingbats, you've got a how-to page. If that, I will keep that uncovered because for me, when I want to talk about this journal in the future, it's good for me to be able to show what all the pages are. I have a tab key. Now, the tab key, the idea of this is that it marks the different sections of your journal. So my setup pages are all going to have this blue tab, which I coloured in with this, and you just colour it in on both sides, and it means when you're flicking through, you can see exactly where the setup pages are, because you can see the tab that side and that side. There's a couple of pages not marked there. The next one will be a different colour, and you can see on every single page it's got that little circular tab thing so you can mark. I did that kind of thing really effectively in my Archer and Olive journal a while back, just coloured the edges of the pages, and I really liked being able to quickly see the whole chapter space. So that's a tab key, so I'll keep marking that in as I complete this journal. Then we go to colour key. I'm not entirely sure. I think I looked it up sometimes, probably in my review of this journal. Anyway, I probably won't use that. This is key. I've been journaling for a while now, but so I kind of know what marks I use, but I may decide to put them in there. Then I have my title page for the journal. This one, I've covered up one of the index pages. So there was 3 index pages. I don't need 3 index pages, and I was trying to work out where to put this because they haven't really left a space for it. It goes straight into all these marked pages and then the future log, and I wanted to have this before I got into year specific pages. So I have covered up one of the index pages, and that's why it's got this white stuck in, because as you can see, the index page is marked by lines basically and a title at the top. So I've added a few stickers here to decorate. Here's some of the ones I've got left over. So you can see on that paper you get quite a transparent sticker. I am using the index. I intend to use this a little bit differently to previous journals. Normally I just have it month, but in this one I may throw in a few extra pages, so the index will be handy, and it's got page numbers, so the index works well. So 2 pages for the index. Then I go into my future log. You'll see very lightly marked at the top of the page it says future log. It also kind of dictated where the column lines should go, but you'll see that I've ignored that. The reason I've ignored it is because they weren't equal widths. You will also see I've made a couple of mistakes on this page, and I've fixed them because it's a very creamy paper. Obviously I can't use whiteout on its own because it would just look too white. I have instead taken a page out from the back of my journal, tore it out. Where did I tear it out? Here. So it has perforated pages at the back of a Dingbats journal, so it was very easy to tear out the page, and I have been cutting little repair strips. I have a repair strip here because I kept writing up to 33 and then realised no month has 33 days, and I also put the days of the week here and then realised that this is my overflow column for things that are on next year. You will also notice that I don't start my future log with the month that the journal starts. So a lot of people, when they put their future logs in their journals, would have July, August, September, October, November, December. But July, I'm going to have my July month set up ready to go. I can put things straight into my calendar for July, so I don't need July to be in my future log. So my future log starts at August because I haven't created August yet, and then September, October, November, December, and then, as I said, that is anything that's going to happen next year. I'll drop in there and I'll sort that out in my next journal, and I find that works really well for me. They also provide markings for across the page, so I could have done my future log months across the page if I wanted to, but then it left a gap at the top. Anyway, this is what I've ended up with. This is the way I usually lay out my future log, as you can see. So yeah, I've continued with that. My graphic set did provide these round sticker shapes to use. Then I go to what was originally the second double page spread of the future log. This journal is designed for 12-month use. I have stuck a little bit of paper over the future log words at the top. You can see they're little, very faintly marked future log there. I have covered them over because this is not a future log page. This is two things. I will note down my themes that I use each month. I always like to track my themes and show how I've decorated that month. So that will go across the top, and I didn't need a whole double page spread for that, so I have memories going along the bottom. That will just simply be a photo and a description. Portrait will fit in that column, but a landscape photo, I'll just overflow it. It'll all work out in the wash. It'll be fine. So that is my memories and themes page. So that's why there's not very much on this page yet, because obviously I need all the space I'm going to get for what I'm going to add later. Then we go to my when did I last page, and I don't know how I got by in my earlier journals without this page. I've been doing it for a few years now, using it to remember when I last did something important. I've got room to add extra things. I can't remember if I've got everything in there yet. But yeah, it's just so useful, even for really trivial things like changing the coffee filter. You're entering in the last time you did something, and then you're adding any new dates in there. This is my packages tracker. I absolutely love this. I've only started doing this maybe a year and a half ago, and it's made a big difference. In Australia, you're often ordering from overseas and it takes a while to get here, and you can kind of forget what's coming, or you might have multiple things you've ordered. So it's simply noting the item, when it was ordered, when it was actually shipped, because some companies or brands take a while to actually ship it, especially if it's going international. This is where it's being shipped from. So is it being shipped from America or the UK or New Zealand or just in Australia? And then this is just noting off what day it got here so that I can basically close off that list. How gorgeous is this big bear sticker? He is beautiful. Oh, it might be a girl. I just love the little artworks on each picture of the animal. 100 GSM, there is a tiny bit of ghosting, but it's really not bad. I'm not bothered by that at all. And I love how the pages don't feel so stiff. This is brand new. I have an awful lot of different journals going. I've got this one, which has, as an example, this has my, it's a bit out, I haven't been updated there, games journal, board games that I've played. I have, this is an outdoors journal, so activities I've done, like bushwalking or skiing or things like that I've done. And then I've got my reading journal, which needs updating this weekend. So my reading journal tracks all the books I've read and reviews and things like that. I've got lots of different journals that I love collecting information in. I'm basically tracking so many different things in my life in many different journals. Some of them are more practical, like my interstitial journal, which is basically my rapid log each day. And I've got like one that covers house renovations. I've got my mental health journal. So all sorts of things I'm covering in my different journals. So I've given each a code for the journal. So weight loss journal is a W, reading journal is an R. And I am just going to track when I actually use those journals, fill them in. It's not going to be some of them will barely get used. I admit, like my garden journal, I'm not doing a lot of gardening at the moment. It doesn't get used that often, and there's others that don't either. My clothes audit, I'm actually doing that at the moment, so it might be quite busy in July, but then might only get like 1 or 2 or 3 uses for the rest of the 6 months. So I'm just curious to see how often I do use these different journals, but I'm also hoping that it motivates me to use those journals and get them filled in. Because as you can see, like from my games journal, for instance, I'm behind and I want to catch up. So I'm hoping this will help me be more regular in using them. This tracker I've been doing for a couple of years now. Actually, no, not that long, only a year. 2 journals I've had this in, and I really like it. I'll show you the one in my last journal. Basically, it looks like this, and yes, there are gaps. I haven't been completely thorough about keeping up to date with it. I hope I get better. Basically, it helps me track things that I've done with my dog, so vet, tick prevention when I give him his tablets, wormed when I washed him, so they get noted on the calendar with those marks, and then these will be colour marks, and I will colour in on that circle when I take him for a walk to these different places. And it's just a nice way to see how often I go to different places. It also reminds me when he was last washed, when he last got wormed, just to make sure that I keep up to date with those things. The next double page spread is something I'm going to do a separate video on, so I will simply note that it's in my setup. I have been reading Atomic Habits, this book by James Clear, and I really have been inspired by it and want to put it into action. The first step for me is simply noting my habits, and I'm just going to have a long list here of my habits, good or bad. It's just my initial exploratory step. I will talk about this more because obviously I'm going to do more with it, and that's why there is also a blank page here before I get into my July setup. So the blank page will allow me to add anything else that I need to add with this. But it's not the end of the world because I have page numbers, because I have my index. If this then leads to further pages through the journal, I can simply do a layout here when I'm ready, because I will probably focus on particular habits from this list and then start working on them. I can just simply note page 78 is where I've continued that subject. I will talk about that more in a separate video. I haven't gone overboard with my layouts at the beginning of this journal. Very much the things that I know I will use regularly because they're ones that I've used before. I've never done this before. I always like to try something new. I'm hoping it motivates me to do more stuff in all my journals. And that's it. It was kind of tricky to work out how to tie in some of these initial pages, and I had to completely cover one. I don't love having all this at the beginning of my journal. I don't feel like it's a nice introduction into the journal, but that's okay. We get there here, so yeah. That is my setup for the second journal for 2025. I hope you're inspired. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, and yeah, you'll be able to follow me as I fill this in. See ya.